Alrighty, guys, we improved to 3-0 in our last 3 extra daily bets on my website yesterday. But before we get into some more of that, just want to take a quick time out and welcome you to the video here today for Monday, August 15th, 2022. My name is Brock Page, and I've been doing sports picks for free right here on YouTube since 2016. I also sell my personal sports bets on patreon.com/BrockPage. And once again, guys, I'm 3-0 my last 3 extra daily bets on that website. Now, that extra daily bet is a package that I offer, and it's only going to cost you just $2.99. Just remember, guys, if you sign up here today, you're going to get access to that membership every single day all the way through the end of August. I always tell folks in every single video, the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. And the link for that play is in the description section below. Now, I also have over 590 members who are signed up and active on that site right now. Now, you may be wondering what the difference is between what I do here on YouTube and what I do on my website. Well, what I do here on YouTube is I'll handicap the entire slate of games in any given sport, side and total. And what I do on my website is I actually share with you which one of these free YouTube picks on my channel that I'm actually betting on personally. And with that, guys, let's go ahead and get into some free content. We're going to take a look at the Tigers taking on the Guardians, Game 1. That's going to be a 3:10 Eastern first pitch. Cleveland's the $2.25 favorite, totals 8.5. Aaron Savali for Cleveland, Drew Hutchison for Detroit. Now, Hutch has just 1 win in over 60 innings of work this year. He's actually 1-6 on the year with an ERA in the 4s. Meanwhile, as a team, the Tigers lost their last 7 straight, and they got the W only 2 times since July 29th. Now, the Tigers' biggest issue is their inability to score runs. They're dead last in runs per contest, dead last in homers. Now, they're also facing a Cleveland team who won 7 out of their last 8. And they do a terrific job making contact with the baseball. The Guardians currently find themselves in the top 10 in team batting average. They're also striking out fewer times per contest than any other team in the league. Andres Jimenez is hitting a team-best .307 at the plate. Meanwhile, Jose Ramirez, he's batted in 93 runners, and he's 3rd in the league in that RBI category. Now, total-wise, 8 out of Cleveland's last 10 ball games fell under the posted number. Meanwhile, Detroit went 80% to the under in their last 10 themselves. I'm going to lean toward Cleveland minus 1.5. And the under 8.5 in Game 1. Next ball game, Padres, Marlins, 6:40 p.m. East. San Diego's the $1.30 favorite, total 6.5. Joe Musgrove for San Diego. Sandy Alcantara for Miami. Now, Sandy's having one heck of a year. He's 10-5 on the season with an ERA of 2.01. He's also got 145 strikeouts and a .95 whip. And even though the Marlins have played quite poorly, their pitchers have done a real nice job keeping San Diego at bay. They're holding the Padres to just 3.2 runs per contest in their last 10 meetings. And speaking of the Pods, they took the loss in 6 out of their last 8 Joe Musgrove starts. Now, San Diego's also been little threat hitting the long ball. They're currently in the bottom 10 in home runs per contest. Now, when it comes to the total, 6 out of San Diego's last 10 outings did get over the line. They also saw their last 5 straight Musgrove starts get over the total as well. I'm going to lean toward Miami plus 1.5 and the over 6.5. Next ball game, Phillies, Reds, 6:40 p.m. East. Philadelphia is the $1.85 favorite on the road, totals 9 runs. Noah Syndergaard for Philadelphia, Mike Minor for Cincinnati. Now, Minor's been horrible this year. He's just 1-9 on the season with an ERA in the 6s. And even if he turns it on here today, the Reds have played some lackluster team baseball. They lost 7 out of their last 10, and they strike out more times a game at the plate than most teams in the National League. They're also facing Noah Syndergaard here today, who's got a 1.21 whip, along with an ERA in the 3s. And despite their last handful of games, the Phils do possess the ability to hit the baseball. They're currently in the top 10 in homers, top 10 in runs. Kyle Schwarber has a National League leading 34 home runs. Meanwhile, Alec Boehm has the highest batting average in the lineup. Now, total-wise, the Phils have averaged just about 5.5 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with Cincinnati. Meanwhile, the Reds, on the other side of things, they are 32-27 to the over at the Great American Ballpark this year. I'm going to lean toward the Phillies, minus 185, over 9. Next ball game, the second of a doubleheader. I'm talking about the Tigers squaring off against the Guardians, Game 2. And that's going to be a 6:40 Eastern first pitch. Now, Game 2 is currently off the board. Brian Garcia for Detroit, Connor Pilkington for Cleveland. And out of 45-plus innings of work this year, Pilks has gotten the W only one time. The lefty's also got an ERA in the 4s along with a 1.61 whip. And even though we lean toward the Guardians in Game 1, these guys have been little threat hitting the long ball. As a matter of fact, the Guardians are in the bottom 3 in the league right now in home runs per contest. Now they're taking on a Detroit pitching staff on the other side of things who actually does a fantastic job of keeping the ball inside the park themselves. They're actually in the top 10 right now in fewest home runs allowed per game. And they also do their best pitching on the road. Matter of fact, the Tigers currently find themselves in the top 3 in the league in fewest road hits allowed. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward Detroit plus 1.5, keeping Game 2 close for some run line cash. All right, next ball game I have for you. It is going to be the Cubs taking on the Nationals, and that's going to be a 7:05 Eastern first pitch in the nation's capital. Now, the Cubbies are the $1.40 favorite on the road. Totals 8 runs. Marcus Stroman for Chicago. Josiah Gray for Washington. Now, Gray's got a losing record and an ERA close to 5. Meanwhile, as a team, the Nats have dropped 8 out of their last 10. They're also in the bottom 5 in baseball in runs per game. They're taking on Marcus Stroman here today, who's got a 1.16 whip, and he averages just about a strikeout an inning. Meanwhile, when it comes to team baseball, as a team, as a whole, the Cubbies got the W in 6 out of their last 9, and they've had little issue scoring runs against Washington. They're averaging 5 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with the Nats. Nico Hoerner's the club leader with a .302 batting average. Meanwhile, teammate Patrick Wisdom leads the team in homers and RBI. When it comes to the number, 3 out of Chicago's last 4 road games got over the total. They also saw 6 out of their last 10 meetings with Washington get over the line as well. So if you're into historical trends, you certainly want to think about that one there. Meanwhile, the Nats on the other side of things, they went 70% to the over in their last 10 outings themselves. I'm going to lean toward Chicago, minus 140, over 8. Next matchup I have for you, it is going to be Rays, Yankees, 7:05 East. Now this game's currently off the board. Garrett Cole's the expected starter for New York. Looks like Ryan Yarbrough for Tampa Bay. Now Yarbs is a ridiculous 0-7 on the year. He's got an ERA in the 5s. Tampa Bay as a team, they also have a losing record on the road this season, and they have one of the worst hitting lineups in the American League. The Rays are currently in the bottom 10 in the entire major leagues in scoring, bottom 10 in strikeouts. They're also facing Garrett Cole on the other side of things, who simply does nothing but strike batters out. The righty's got 178 strikeouts on the year, along with a 1.02 whip. When it comes to hitting the baseball, there's really not many teams who do it better than New York. These guys lead the American League in scoring, and they also lead the entire major leagues in home runs. So with all that said and done, I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the Yankees winning that one outright for some money line cash. All right, next matchup, some more divisional games here. And this is actually, we're going to stay in the AL East. I'm talking about the Orioles squaring off against the Blue Jays, 7:07 p.m. East. Toronto's minus 160 at home, totals 9. Yusei Kikuchi for Toronto, Kyle Bradish for Baltimore. And out of 61-plus innings pitched, Bradish has himself just 1 win on the year. Now, Brad's also has a 1.62 whip and an ERA in the sixes. And even if he ends up pitching well, the O's have had a tough time getting on base this year. These guys are currently in the bottom 10 in team batting average. Now, they're also facing Yusei Kikuchi, who's averaging well over a strikeout an inning. The Cooch man's got 88 strikeouts in just 79 innings of work. The Blue Jays are also very dangerous at the dish. These guys are in the top 3 in team batting average. And they're led by Lourdes Gurriel, who's hitting a team-best 308. Meanwhile, teammate Matt Chapman, he's the club leader in homers with 23 of them. When it comes to the total, the Blue Jays went 60% to the over in their last 10 outings. They're also 15-7 to the over in their divisional home games. Meanwhile, Baltimore on the other side, they went 70% to the over in their last 10 ball games themselves. I'm going to lean toward Toronto minus 160, over 9. Next ball game, little NL East action. I'm talking about the Mets traveling to Atlanta to take on the Braves. 7:20 Eastern first pitch at Truist Park. Atlanta's the $1.45 favorite at home, totals 8 runs. Spencer Strider for Atlanta, Carlos Carrasco for New York. Now, Carrasco's got over a dozen wins on the season, along with 123 strikeouts. As a matter of fact, the righty's 13-4 in the year, along with an ERA in the threes. Meanwhile, as a team, the Mets won 8 out of their last 9, and they do a terrific job hitting the baseball. These guys find themselves in the top 3 in the majors right now in scoring, top 5 in team batting average. Of course, Jeff McNeil's hitting a team-best 307 at the dish. Meanwhile, Pete Alonso, he's got 97 RBI, and he leads the National League in that category. Now, they're taking on an Atlanta squad on the other side of things who's had a pretty tough time scoring runs against the Mets in recent meetings. Out of these teams' last 10 head-to-head contests with each other, the Braves have averaged only 3.9 runs a game. Now, they also have significant issues with strikeouts at the plate. The Braves are currently in the bottom 3 in strikeouts per 9 at the dish. Now, when it comes to the total, 8 out of the Braves' last 10 outings did get over the number. They also saw their last 4 straight Spencer Strider starts get over the line. Meanwhile, New York on the other side of things, they went 7-3 to the over in their last 10 meetings with Atlanta. So once again, if you're into historical trends, plenty of overs to go around between these two teams. I'm going to lean toward the New York Mets plus $1.25 in the over 8. Next matchup, it is going to be Royals Twins, 7:40 East. Minnesota's the $2 favorite at the Target Field. Totals 8.5. Joe Ryan for the Twins. Chris Bubich for Kansas City. And out of 86 innings of work this year, the Boob Man has himself just 2 wins and an ERA in the 5s. Now, the Royals as a team, they've struggled away from Kauffman Stadium this season. These guys won only 19 out of 53 road games, and that's good for just 35% in that category. They're also taking on a Minnesota team who does a nice job hitting the baseball. These guys are in the top 10 in homers, top 10 in OPS. Luis Arias is he's hitting a league-best 333 at the plate. Meanwhile, Byron Buxton's 6th in the majors with 28 home runs. Now, pitching-wise, Joe Ryan's also done a solid job for Minnesota this season. He's 8-5 on the year with a 1.13 whip. When it comes to the total, Minnesota went 60% to the over in their last 10 outings. Meanwhile, the Royals saw 6 out of their last 10 get over the number themselves. I'm going to lean toward Minnesota minus 1.5 and the over 8.5. Next ball game I have for you, it is going to be A's Rangers, 8:05 East. Texas is minus 160, totals 8. Glenn Otto for Texas, James Caprillion for Oakland. Now, Jimmy K is just 3-6 on the season with an ERA in the 4s. The A's are also on an 8-game losing streak. They have the lowest team batting average in baseball. Now, they're taking on a Rangers club on the other side who's averaging nearly 7 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with Oakland. Adolis Garcia is currently the club leader with 73 runs batted in. Meanwhile, teammate Corey Seager, he's got 26 home runs, and that is currently a team best. Now, when it comes to cashing in on the run line, Texas covered the 1.5 in 5 out of their last 7 at Globe Life Field. When it comes to the total, 8 out of Texas's last 10 outings did get over the line. Meanwhile, Oakland went 60% to the over in their last 10 themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Rangers, -1.5, over 8. Next ball game I have for you, it is going to be Dodgers taking on the Brewers, 8:10 p.m. East. The LA Dodgers are -185, totals 8 runs. Julio Urias for Los Angeles, Freddie Peralta for Milwaukee. Now, Freddie's got himself a 4.37 ERA. Meanwhile, offensively, the Brewers have really struggled putting up runs against LA. They're averaging less than 3.5 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with the Dodgers. When it comes to hitting the baseball, they're also in the bottom 5 in the league in hits per game at home. Now they're taking on Julio Urias on the mound here for Los Angeles, and he's got himself a dozen wins on the year. Now the lefty's also got a 2.49 ERA and a .97 whip. And even if Urias sucks today, he's backed by a powerful Dodger lineup who leads the league in scoring and OPS. Freddie Freeman's hitting a team best 320 at the plate. Meanwhile, Trey Turner's 83 RBI, well, that's best on the team as well. When it comes to the number, the Dodgers went 7-3 to the over in their last 10 ball games. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, Milwaukee's 5-1 to the over in their last 6 Peralta starts. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the Dodgers -185, over 8 runs. Next ball game I have for you, it is going to be Astros taking on the White Sox. That's going to be an 8:10 Eastern first pitch on the south side. Houston's -1.25 on the road, totals 8.5. Jose Urquidy for the Stros, Johnny Cueto for Chicago. And even though Cueto has put up some pretty good numbers this year, he's gotten the W only 4 times out of 102 innings of work. Matter of fact, Cueto has a losing 4-5 record on the season right now. And even if he has a stellar outing here today, the Sox as a team, they actually play their worst baseball at home. Now, unfortunately for White Sox fans, they have to face Jose Urquidy here today. And Urquidy continues to roll. Urks has an 11-4 record, ERA in the 3s, and a 1.16 whip. The Stros are also on a 4-game winning streak, and they have little issue hitting for power. They're in the top 3 in homers, top 5 in OPS. Yordan Alvarez is 3rd in the bigs in OPS and home runs. Meanwhile, teammate Kyle Tucker, he is currently the club leader in RBI with 76. Now, when it comes to the scoring in this one, 3 out of Houston's last 4 road games did fall under the number. Meanwhile, the White Sox, on the other side of things, they went 60% to the under in their last 10. I'm going to lean toward Houston, -1.25, under 8.5. Next matchup, little AL West action. I'm talking about the Mariners squaring off against the Angels, 9:38 Eastern first pitch. Now, the Angels are the $1.20 favorite, total 6.5. Shohei Ohtani on the mound for Los Angeles, Luis Castillo for Seattle. Now, this Mariner pitching staff, they've done a real nice job this year. They're allowing only 3.9 runs per contest, and they rank in the top 5 in the majors in that category. They're taking on an Angels team who really struggles in divisional play at home. They're just 8-14 straight up against the AL West at Angels Stadium. When it comes to offensive production, LA is striking out more times a game than any other team in baseball. And when it comes to the total, 8 out of these teams' last 10 meetings did fall under the line. Once again, another one of those historical trends. Now, the Angels also went 7-3 to the under in their last 10 themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Mariners plus $1 and the under 6.5. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final breakdown for the video. And it's going to be in the NL West. I'm talking about the Diamondbacks squaring off against the Giants, 9:45 Eastern start time. Now, this game's currently off the board. Madison Bumgarner for Arizona, Alex Cobb for San Francisco. And even though Corn Cobb's got just a 3-6 record on the year, he does have 100 strikeouts and a 1.29 whip. Meanwhile, as a team, the Giants have won 7 out of their last 8. And they do a nice job putting runners across the plate. These guys are in the top 10 in scoring, and they're led by Wilmer Flores, who leads the club in runs batted in. Now, the Giants also get to face Madison Bumgarner here today, who's got himself an ERA in the 4s along with a 6-11 record. And even if Mad Bum ends up pitching well here today against his former team, the D-backs have a tough time getting on base. These guys are in the bottom 5 in the league in team batting average. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the Giants winning that game outright for some money line cash. And with that, guys, now it's time for our quick pick recap for Monday, August 15th, 2022. And as always, guys, our quick pick recap is powered to you by my website at patreon.com/BrockPage, where I'm currently 3-0 my last 3 extra daily bets on that website. I like Cleveland minus 1.5, under 8.5 in Game 1. Give me Miami plus 1.5, over 6.5 runs. Philadelphia minus 185, over 9. Give me Detroit plus 1.5, covering the run line in Game 2. I like the Cubs minus 140, over 8. Give me the Yankees winning their game outright for some money line cash. Toronto minus 160, over 9. New York Mets plus $1.25, over 8. Minnesota minus 1.5, over 8.5. Texas minus 1.5, over 8 runs. LA Dodgers minus 185, over 8. Houston minus $1.25, under 8.5. Seattle plus $1, under 6.5 runs. And before I give you my next and final free pick for the video, one final reminder that if you want to see which one of these free picks on this video that I'm actually betting on personally, there's only one way to do that, and that's to sign up for a membership on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. I'm going to lean towards San Francisco winning their game outright for some money line cash. And with that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my website. Now, if you do end up getting a package here today, just keep in mind you're going to get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you do end up getting a membership here today, you are going to get access to that content every single day all the way through the end of August. I always tell folks in every single video, the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. And guys, if you want to get access to every single bet, every single package, every single day, you're going to want to sign up for my board member package. It's an all-inclusive membership. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Monday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.